Hi everyone, good afternoon from Nigeria, Lagos. We have our guests from North Carolina, from India, from Zambia, and from other parts of the world. And we are so happy to have our special guest, Praveen Kumar, a tech tycoon, join us today to disclose how he has spent his past 27 years in the tech space and the progression he has seen over the years, and how businesses can indeed start adopting AI from baby steps to becoming AI giants. He has led billion-dollar companies as CTO in AI and so many others. So there's so much to learn from him. I think there's no need to do further introductions. Praveen Kumar, we are happy to have you on the call today.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, likewise, I'm very happy to be here.
This webinar is going to be much more of an interactive one, and we want to make it as practical as possible. We'll be asking a couple of questions to Praveen, and he would answer the questions in ways that are easy for us to pick gleanings or learnings from it and adopt them in our businesses. So to start, Praveen, would like to know how you got into tech and when you got into tech. I think that's the first question for you.
Oh my God. Very, very early days of my life when I'm talking late 80s. I was in high school. I was very, very curious to learn stuff. There was no computers around us, but I read the whole books, late nights and everything else. I was in my ninth grade. I started enrolling into competitions, IQ tests. Some places there were basic computer quizzes and tests. Somehow I started winning them all. And next thing you know, they put me in some state level competition where I stood first for the state of Karnataka in India. So from the government of Karnataka, I got sponsored books and courses. Not just that, they also nominated me for national level software development competition where people from all across the states in India were brought in. And we had a 7-day software development competition. I somehow managed to crack that too, and Government of India awards, and they gave me cash prizes and books. People started calling me WizKid and whatnot. I started learning all the technologies around like COBOL, Basic, DBase, Pascal, C, C++. Oh, by the way, I did my civil engineering though. It was not easy to get a job. People were saying, no, we will not hire a person with a civil engineering background. And I started taking up projects myself, and I did 36 projects in 3 years for various clients that I could find. And that suddenly put me in the limelight, and I got a lot of experience after that. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think some people on the call did not know. I was once an employee under Praveen. That was 4 or 5 years ago now. And there was so much to learn from him then. But I did not ever hear this story. And it's really, really interesting. To actually have so much pressure on you, to perform. And I'm sure that cash prize, I don't know, have you finished spending it now? So my next question is, tech has changed since then. Can you give us kind of some insight on how tech has changed from where you started till now?
It's a very interesting journey for me. It all started in around 1997. It was all the standalone era or the client server era. There was no internet here in India. People were not yet, they didn't even have much computers, right? It was all these doctors, small financial firms, textile merchants. They all had a single computer or one or two computers. They would do a handwritten bills, and also they wanted to automate stuff. So that's when I used Visual Basic, Oracle, C++, and SQL Server, those type of technologies. Then the companies got more computers and they wanted the same application to work on multiple places. The centralization had to be done. We built client applications separate, server applications separate, and the clients would talk to the server and back, and you would have centralized data, right? Early 2000s was all your dot-com boom, or the dot-com era as we call it, right? That was a big change. Everybody wanted to have an online presence. Merchant, a company would want to put their website. So my involvement was involving in building static websites, dynamic applications, connecting to database. So it was all HTML, ASP, that is active server pages. Then there was ASP.NET, Java server pages. Then even I worked on Code Fusion and many PHP and technologies like that. And it started shifting towards scalability, security, performance, maintainability, reliability, all those features were required in big applications with bigger firms. So early 2000, I moved to the United States, worked with clients like TravelClick, Verizon Telecommunications, Relay Health, and many more. So we had to build systems that were reliable. So that was the era of building all good architectures, also service-oriented architecture, messaging, then orchestration became big. People suddenly started talking about cloud, 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 because all these solutions, it had to be centralized across not just offices, but across geographically varied locations, from the United States to China to India and everywhere else. So I lived in China, Europe, the United States, and many other places. I worked offshore and on-site. We could see how the communication kept happening. Everybody started moving towards cloud early 2010s, but the financial companies had a reluctance. Many of my clients used to ask me, hey, cloud is not secure and we don't want to move to the cloud. Why are you suggesting? I would say if you have a lot of cash or money, would you keep it at home or in a bank? Right? A bank is more secure. So cloud can be very secure. You just have to build your application secure. That's 2010, 2020 mid, we started seeing a lot of mobile. And I moved back to India and launched my own startup, Nanite Solutions. That was a mobile application firm. It was with iOS and Android applications. Even now I'm hands-on in iOS and Android, as you know. Built a lot of applications for clients. We also raised some funding, bunch of technologies that started coming, hybrid and native and many more things. Gave rise to a lot more technologies that we have today. But that also meant more analytics and data and everything else and automation. So we moved towards RPA, robotic process automation. I was actually branded as the global thought leader in RPA. I was invited for talks in Singapore, in Germany, in the States, and many other places. That was also when people started asking, is RPA going to take away our jobs? Right? And RPA kept automating things. We started collecting more data, giving birth to analytics. That's when analytics became predictive analytics, becoming AI. Of course, I'm not saying AI is new. AI is old, right? It was multiple decades ago. People have been doing neural networks too, right? Era of AI started, I can say, in the last 1 decade or less, especially late 2010s or early 2020s. So much of AI. So I have been involved in a lot of AI initiatives. I moved to Canada, worked with the Toronto Stock Exchange, and involved in analytics platforms, advanced analytics platforms, Scotiabank, RBCs, and the likes. A lot of AI started coming in. Then I had Zummit Infolabs, where worked on racism detection, terrorism detection, and many, many advanced cutting-edge computer visions, NLPs, and other models. So we talk about 2020, and now we are at 2025. Already in the last 5 years, the change is massive, especially with NLP, transformers, attention architecture. Suddenly we have GPT, or the chat GPT. My involvement again was building a lot of LLM based applications, RAG, agentic AI, automating with AI, and so many more.
It's just a very, very rich background that you have. And something is common. There's always the interfacing of humans and the technology, humans and the technology. They're usually pullbacks. I, of all I've been hearing and reading about technology, there was not so much pullback when it came to mobile, but from your conversation, there was pullback when it came to cloud, and people were skeptical. But right now, the highest pullback has been when it came to AI. Why do you think this pullback? Is it because it is kind of obscure, it is not tangible? Why do you think this pullback is so much? Here in Africa, there is still a lot of backwardness when it comes to AI. We feed from what the southern and western world provides, like OpenAI, ChatGPT, all of these major models from Google. We only feed from them, right? We do not have companies in Africa who have built their own really, really solid large language models or foundation models. So here in Africa, even though we are really, really big users of ChatGPT, of Claude, when it comes to companies adoption, when it comes to the government adoption and all of those things, and government support, it is not so much common. Why do you think? Why do you think we have that problem? And there are correlations between Africa and India. Africa
Mhm.
is whole continent, but India is one country, and we
Yes,
share similar, similar population. So
absolutely.
sometimes when I personally have been looking for data to,
Uh-huh.
back of my hypothesis, sometimes I want to compare African markets with the Indian market. So what do you think is a major setback, and how do you think we can overcome that setback when it comes to adoption of technologies, basically?
I think the biggest one is the fear of unknown. Something that we do not know, we are always afraid of. We are using mobiles on a day-to-day basis. It is fine. Now, all our files, our documents, my photographs, everything is on the cloud. I'm okay, I'm happy because we understand cloud. And any new technology that comes, there is a skepticism. Even building a mobile application for a bank, Wells Fargo, when I worked on post-trading analysis system, what if the mobile gets stolen? So yes, there is always a fear of accepting a new technology, which is also fair because any new technology comes in, that's a new backdoor, new entry, because people still do not understand the technology. People have not yet explored how to secure every aspect of things. When IoTs came, people started completely getting into the cameras, hacking into homes, and a lot of things happened with IoT. When mobile systems came, so much of phishing attacks, data stealing, and so many things happened. When cloud initially came, yes, people dumped all their data directly on the cloud, unsecure, and all the competitors were able to download stuff. So, and then the general null hypothesis playing there, right? Somebody says, do this. No, I don't want to do this. Prove to me that this is good. Only then let me access. And you hear stuff about your privacy is being invaded, your personal data is being stolen because you're giving it to AI and somebody else is picking it up, right? So all these makes people think twice, thrice, or 100 times before employing a new technology. That's the pullback. That is the reason why people are always scared. They'll say, let others go front, let them face all the difficulties, and then it'll be secure. That is when I will move it, right? It also depends on where geographically you are, right? Uh, some countries are very progressive and they adopt, whereas some of the other developing nations, Africa, India, and many other countries, we build all these latest technologies for our clients, but we are still thinking about whether we adopt it immediately, right?
Well, there's something you said now that it's quite confusing. We know India as a forefront of technology, but are you saying that even in India there's skepticism adoption of AI? Because when it comes to Google, the CEO is an Indian, Microsoft, the CEO is an Indian, Adobe, all of these major CEOs who are building resources in
Yes.
AI are Indian.
Yeah.
So I'm confused. What do you mean by that?
No, no, no. You're absolutely right, but I have an answer for that. Yeah, no, that's also a good point, right? The good observation. Yeah, Sundar Pichai, Google, or Satya Nadella, or anybody you take, they're all Indians and they are in big position in big companies, right? So how does that happen? So India has good educational institutions like IITs and the likes. People get the good education, they move, and they both work hard and smart, and they end up getting into good places. But your question is, are Indians, everybody adopting AI? If you come to a second tier city in India, you come to Bangalore, you see so much of technology. People are all using the latest phones, latest techs, latest AI. But you go to a city like Tumkur or Mysore or another Indore, some of the cities you have not heard of, you will not see so much AI being implemented in daily lives, right? It is definitely confusing when somebody thinks that, oh, India has cities that does not have much technology or AI. That's definitely confusing. Yeah.
It's interesting. I can see a lot of similarities within India and Africa as a whole, not just Nigeria, Africa as a whole, right? There are some major hubs in Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and you just believe that the whole of Africa knows about AI. But it's funny that we're still really, really lagging behind. We're left behind. So a major question
Absolutely.
that's on people's minds: parents, government officials, individuals, everyone is skeptical about AI and the recent job loss saga that is all over the world. In your opinion, based on your years of understanding of technology, do you think that AI will take over a lot of jobs than it will create more jobs? It's a question that everyone keeps asking. So I would say this. I'm a member of a community, and in that community we had an AI talk, just to help people to see the benefits. And one policymaker in the UK, he was on the call, and he was of the opinion that any AI project that any company is adopting must make room for employing anyone who will lose their job as a result of AI's replacement. So if you're creating any AI solution, ensure that it's creating more jobs, not taking away jobs. And I do not really understand how that will work. But what do you think about AI and jobs and job security generally?
The whole industry is approaching at it. Every major shift, right? Not just AI, whether it was RPA, other, even simple computers in the past, internet, dot-com boom, everything, right? It always brings two things. One, opportunities. Two, concerns. AI is doing so much. Like now it is vibe coding. Nobody's writing code anymore. Everybody just goes to ChatGPT. I'd like to build CRUD operations for products or inventory or invoice or something, and it writes a complete code, right? So where does that lead all the programmers to, right? But when ATMs came, right, long ago, people said, oh, all the bank employees will lose their jobs because people can just go to an ATM, deposit money or pull out the money. How are we going to keep our jobs? ATMs are still there. There's more bank employees, more jobs, more customer facing roles. And yes, AI definitely is shifting the nature of our work. AI can take over some of the tasks only. It will never be able to take our jobs. Humans have emotional intelligence. Humans have empathy. Humans have decision making. Although now with agentic AI, so much of decision making is being done by AI, right? That's always there. Key is about how adaptable we are, which humans are very adaptable. There may not be a job like a React developer at some point of time in the future, but there will be a React prompt engineer. You would still need somebody to write those prompts to build a React application. What will change, I think, is instead of you, Jonathan, or me, Praveen, or Chirag, or whoever is working on a single project with prompt engineering, vibe coding, they will be working on 6 projects or 3 projects at once. It's never going to kill jobs. I think if people who ignore AI, they might start getting left behind, right? So that's my take. And if I had a penny for every time I was asked this question,
Be a billionaire by now. Yeah, so we just wanted to mention that if you have any questions whatsoever, whatever domain you are, please drop your questions. Marvin has worked in so many domains you would not imagine. If he has not worked directly there, he has built projects for clients in that domain. You could also raise your hand with the raise hand icon, and would answer your question. So we've been talking about the progression of technology, but the human is always at the forefront of it. Whatever technology comes up is for the benefit of humans. It's just left for how the humans adopt it and customize it to their own use cases. So I think it's time to talk about use cases, practical use cases. We have business leaders, we have people who are SMEs. How should they proceed? How should they proceed to start adopting AI into their workflows? What is the barest minimum thing they can do with AI? And what are the tips that myself and every other person could start adopting to start generating revenue or income with the AI skills that they have?
that had multiple parts to the question. The very first part was about what are the use cases? How do we adopt them? What should businesses do to implement all these latest AI tech? How do they go there? What steps do they need to take? When we talk about AI itself, right? Machine learning, deep learning, your neural networks, NLP, generative AI, LLMs, agentic AI, RAGs. It all comes back to how useful it is. What are the use cases, right? We worked on terrorism detection, right? In airports, if a known terrorist is walking around, let's say the person really looked different, but now clean shaven, hair is cut, a different attire, the computer vision programs can still detect and identify the person and say, hey, this is something that happened when we were doing a trial run, right? Racism detection, terrorism detection in airports. Jonathan, you probably know this because we did work on some of those use cases ourselves. Then there has been self-driving cars. That's all AI. This is all so much of computer vision. Then there's NLP, which gave birth to transformers and chat GPTs and all the other stuff. When we talk about daily lives, people are asking for breaking up with my girlfriend or boyfriend, or how do I write a resignation letter? All that is what end users are doing. But in reality, companies, organizations can put this to a great use. Already, people are asking prompts to generate code and speed up their businesses. The co-pilot, right? The word co-pilot is very interesting, right? AI is not our competitor, it is our co-pilot. It's something that's going to enable us. It's a branded term they're using, but to me, it's like a co-pilot who's assisting me and helping me. I'm still taking the flight to my destination. Whether you're in healthcare, finance, biotechnology, manufacturing, we worked on so many different use cases. Surface defect and dents detection in productions. Scabs that get continuously being manufactured. If there's a scratch or a dent or a defect, it is caught by the cameras at high speeds and sent to the computer vision programs that will say this is faulty, this is fine. So the division happens, quality checks happen right then and there at high speeds. Other tools like financial application, your stock market predictions, building algorithms, algo trading, it's become very popular. Since I worked in the Toronto Stock Exchange, I know how much of financial stuff can be implemented using AI, and it can make a huge difference. It's a portfolio management, hedge funds, wealth management. And there's entertainment where your Spotify, Netflixes are all giving you a recommendation based on product recommendation architectures, content filtering, collaborative basement. So there's a lot, right? And we're talking about business processes. And coming to your second part of the question is about how does a business adopt all these AI or the latest technologies, cutting edge, into their business, even if they're a small business. First, you do not need deep AI expertise to adopt AI. There are so many frameworks, so many products, many, tools, programming languages have implemented AI as libraries and functions and frameworks. The most important thing is do not AI everything. If your whole project has so many steps, don't convert everything to AI. So the very first step the businesses have to do is identify their business processes. The best way is to go with low-hanging fruits, 80% of the work that can be achieved in 20% of effort. Identify all the processes in your business and pick up where can I automate, where can I put AI, is that useful for me? Like you can do a computer vision face recognition based attendance system, productivity system. Is that useful for you? Out of 8 to 10 hours in a day, they're spending 2 to 3 hours of productive work. Maybe you may want to implement a computer vision based tracking system. They come to the door, it opens automatically. You don't need an RFID, you don't need a biometric. You just walk towards the door, it opens. Right? Simple computer vision, basic face recognition. But if your business process does not need that, do not automate that. What's more important for you? Is it OCR? Do you have a lot of documents that needs to be scanned for text? Is that a part of your business process? That's something you should pick it up and do it. Now, it's not just about AI, it's agentic AI. Everybody's talking agentic AI, AI agents, agentic framework, N8Ns, all that, Zapier. Set of agents, they are independent, they can make decisions, right? When the data comes, they can take a call. Oh, okay, I read the text. I know this is saying that it's a invoice or a bill, so let me put it in this folder. Simple. So there is no human intervention required to do that at the later stage. But when you ask about the process, there is one important step in the early implementation stage, the HILs or the human in the loop. Yeah, always start with oversight. Have the agents get assisted by some humans until you can verify that they can act independently. Second thing is we also want to define our objectives. You are investing in AI, bringing in AI engineers, automating things. Is that an objective that you want to achieve? Is it ROI? Is it speed? Is it efficiency? What does your clients want? What do you want? Next thing is also we need to know the pain points. What are the current problems that we are facing? And is that pain point going to be answered by AI? There are enzyme engineering and biotech companies that have a lot of problems that can be solved by AI, but they need an accuracy of 97.6%, but they're getting a 91.2%. That won't work, which means you either have to improve your accuracy and then implement AI. Start with your pain point. You will get a lot of solutions and frameworks and stuff. Then audit your data, look at your data, then set the clear objectives. That's what the businesses have to do. What do I want to achieve from this? The next important thing is also to choose the tool, right? Which tool do you want to use? With AI, I think now there's so many open source tools. You could just take it, or you can use pay as you go, on demand APIs. The last point for businesses to do is don't do complete big bang changeover, right? Do a small canary type or like a small scale improvements. Identify one aspect, implement it, then move on to the next.
I think that there are some other phases like first, understanding the objectives means that they will have to understand their data. Right? If they do not understand their data, then it's difficult to understand their
Right.
objective. So I think
Absolutely.
it works hand in hand. Then
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. There's a
Mhm.
lot of unpacking there, which one session like this would not help. There will have to be a strategy on how to really really adopt this technology. But I think before we move on, we want to answer some of these questions.
Mhm.
Um, Edozie, what will happen when everyone is now well equipped with knowledge of AI? That is the first question. And what are the measures to ensure efficiency of AI outputs and prevent vulnerabilities in AI generated web or app? So I think these are the first two questions.
What will happen when everyone is well equipped with knowledge of AI? Everybody knows AI.
You want to maybe add some little context?
Currently, some people don't know about AI, and
Mhm.
that's why many people are losing their jobs to people that have knowledge of AI. So, when a lot of people, almost 70% of people out there in the job market, have gotten the basic knowledge and AI skills, so will it be a kind of revolution to another development or to another technology or so, or will AI now fade away? What I'm saying.
So if a lot of people start learning AI, that also means is it increasing competition in the AI world? That could be one angle you might be thinking at. And also, will there be more adoption of AI? On the revolutionary side, more jobs are coming up in AI, more solutions are coming, and every day you see there's a new framework or a technology or something else, a derivation of a technology that's happening. RAGs came, that was very popular. Suddenly, everybody started moving towards RAG. Agentic AI came and everybody adopted. Why are so many new things coming up? Why is MCP already there, Model Context Protocol, which is so new, but it's so amazing? Funnily, people will start asking for AI-based solutions in the future. I don't know if there will ever be a date where a person will say, I do not want a human doctor, but I want an AI to do my surgery. That I still doubt. We always believe in humans performing medical and surgeries and stuff. That's a good thing. There are a lot of negatives too. There is still a lot of security issues and vulnerabilities that will have to be handled. And I think that's also part of your second question. What are the measures to ensure efficiency of AI and prevent vulnerabilities in an AI generated web or app? How secure is our AI? First is the privacy issues, right? Your GDPR, your data. Or somebody implemented some AI solution, suddenly the data is getting leaked. Talking about vulnerabilities, there is data poisoning, right? There was hallucination, prompt injection. People are always finding one or the other way to get in. So yeah, we have to be cautious about it, especially with financial data. That's a bigger problem. Now, how do we prevent? And the thought process is still the same original cybersecurity principles, like your OWASP, guidelines that we had in the past, your stride, spoofing, tampering, repudiation, information disclosure, denial of service, elevation, all these will still apply if you think in the same direction. There is the attack framework, ATT and CK. The same principles apply, but understand the use case. Where is the security injection happening? Somebody is holding an image and saying, read my text, what I have written here, right? OCR. But in the image, somewhere on the top, I have put a SQL injection, not even a script, or 1 = 1 with the single quotes and double hyphens and everything. Your LLMs, the chat GPTs will just read it in, and if it gets into your queries or streams, you got another type of injection. So yes, we have to apply the cyber security and security principle, security architecture, principle of least privileges, and also identify such use cases and prevent prompt injection. You could always add some Gaussian noise. We are talking about LLM or a chat GPT or a Claude has generated code, and that has security vulnerabilities. How do we fix that? That's why human in the loop and human dependency is very important. No matter how much the code is generated by AI, we should still have our code reviews, peer reviews, quality checks, your SAST, your DAST, all a part of your CI/CD pipelines. It's not just DevOps, it's not just MLOps, it's not just SecOps. It is ML DevSecOps. So you will have to do your penetration testing, VAPT, everything else. But way before that, check your code, do the code reviews, ask ChatGPT itself in another prompt, hey, by the way, can you check for security vulnerabilities in the code that you generated? Or use Claude to generate the code and use Llama or Gemini to do a check, but still do not miss the human code reviews. So this also answers that humans are always required, right? There needs to be a human in the loop. Thank you for that question, Mr. Kuku.
I think he has one last question. And for someone he's interested in the financial sector, what are the best learning tracks to follow?
I can tell you that if you want to get into AI for a financial sector, that's a very good first goal already. You know your technology, you also know your domain, right? That's great. Now you start figuring out all the use cases. Make a list of all the use cases. What kind of use cases do we have in financial? So there is the stock market trading side of things. There is post-trading side of things. There is front office. There is back office. There's middle office. Things like reconciliation, integration with Charles River, ingesting data from various sources. Everywhere AI can be used. And it's not just AI. Now we are talking about agentic AI. Coming to the career path, you need to know Python. Then you would learn a little bit of data science and statistics. Your basic stuff, not very deep, at least understand hypothesis testing, A/B testing, central limit theorem, law of large numbers, and stuff like that. And then you move on to machine learning, understand some basics like supervised, unsupervised, what's regression, classification, clustering, various types of it. Again, with all those getting so much automated, you don't have to really sit and write 1,000 programs. Learn the concepts, learn some things about it, do some basic hands-on. I have a couple of videos called AI Engineer Roadmap, which tells you from the beginning how you should go. There are 6 projects that I have mentioned. If you try them one by one, you'll get a lot of hands-on with AI. Then you move towards neural networks, which is typically your computer vision, then NLPs, CNN, RNN, LSTM, GRUs, all that come into picture. If you want to do stock market prediction type of things, it used to be LSTMs, RNNs, right? Now it's so much transformers. You just feed the OHLC data. It will say this is a morning star, bullish engulfing, this is bearish engulfing, pattern recognition. Is there a cup and a handle pattern? So you could do so much of predictive analytics on financial data, portfolio analytics, managing your hedge funds, doing risk analysis, portfolio risk management, credit management. There's a lot.
Thank you very much, Praveen. We'll be adding all of those videos, all of Praveen's videos. In fact, Praveen has created some specific videos for DataRango. DataRango is a gamified learning platform to help people learn from scratch with real industry experience. So it's not just the Titanic data sets that we'll be using here. We're going to be talking about real organization data sets. So Vikram, for instance, has worked on so many projects. Vikram is on the call. Funny, he's Praveen's mentor, so I can only imagine how many things he has worked on. So we could reach out to Vikram.
Hearing Praveen is a very pleasant situation always. I mean, I have seen him as a kid. He has done a lot of great things, and especially what I like about him is helping nature. I mean, a lot of times we do things for ourselves. I mean, I do work for myself, I do build a house for myself, for my family. What I like about Praveen is he's open to help anybody out. If somebody is interested in learning a language, he is ready to help. That kind of generosity and that kind of a attitude is very difficult to get. And this kind of initiative is really great. I think he has trained thousands of students and he has taught a lot of people. Also, he has kind of motivation because it's not just being there. Motivating people is most important thing. I mean, I have seen him grow from, as I said, from school kid to kind of a wizard, and now he's one of the like a best software engineer or a leader in India, or I would say worldwide leader. But one thing, let me tell you, there is no technology in the world, there is nothing that can compete with the human brain. If you really use your human brain in the right approach, and if you make sure that your productivity is there, if you can concentrate on one thing and get it done, probably you can achieve anything in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that advice cut across to all of us. We'll just, I think, in a few words, Praveen, could you just summarize where we are and what you would give as advice to you know to the rest of the world, basically. That's that in a few words.
A lot of people come and ask me for how do I shape my career. My belief is knowledge. There is no end to learning. A couple of weeks back, I did not know what was model context protocol, and I implemented it, and it started working. Learning should be a constant thing. Always keep learning. Know what's going on in the market, what's in the trend. If you go to the United States, Canada, far west, you will see so much of new technologies implemented. But you come to China, you'll be amazed. Oh my God, this is even more cutting edge. Thing is, keep your eyes open is what I will tell everybody. Keep learning. Worked in India, US, Europe, China, Canada. I've been called for so many talks across the globe as a thought leader. I got so many awards and prizes and bonuses and so many things. And I could tell only one thing, that I felt like, hey, I'm from civil engineering. These are all maybe from computers, electronics. They're ahead of me. I have to learn more. I have to study hard, work hard. And suddenly it put me in a nice spot. No matter how much theory we learn, the second important point is put it to practical use. There are so many freshers, job seekers. How do I still learn? Build your own system. Do something for yourself. Join internships. There are so many companies, including Zummit Africa, including Digital Nexus AI, Sprava, and many companies. They take a lot of interns. You get to work on cutting edge stuff, right? Training management systems, financial applications. So that's something I would encourage people. Everything is available for free of cost. If you go to YouTube, if you go to so many other websites, so much of information is free. You don't even have to pay money. If you want somebody to do a guided education, then you can always go for paid courses. Also, I would follow some blogs, tech news every now and then. My profile in YouTube is built in such a way that every time I click home, I get the latest videos suggestions. If I go to Instagram, I don't know about other guys, when you hit on search, mine was all MCP, RAG, AI, and those kind of reels were coming for me. So somehow the AI has built my profile around social media networks with all the latest cutting edge stuff that happens. And that, I think, is a very interesting take. I want to give this as a suggestion to people. Have two Insta accounts, have two YouTube accounts, have two stuff. Keep one personal, keep one purely for tech. And trust me, the AI algorithms will always suggest you in the direction that you're going. If you're looking for cutting edge, you'll always be shown cutting edge. If you're looking for Hollywood, Bollywood, you will see more suggestions on that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been a 1 hour of so much to learn, so much to talk. Uh, we really, really appreciate the time you spent with us today, so we could share with even more people to learn 1 or 2 things from it. We're so grateful for your time. Thank you so much, Vikram. Thank you so much, everyone who made the conversation quite interesting. We look forward to having more and more success in the coming weeks and months and years. And we wish you all the best for the rest of the day. Thank you so much, and think it's a wrap from here. Bye.